centuries, civilizations have looked to their youth and asked for more. Not for war, not for violence, but for character. In ancient Sparta, boys were taught to endure pain not to become warriors, but to become citizens who feared nothing. In medieval Japan, children of samurai learned silence, self-control, and unwavering honor before they ever held a blade. And today, from American cadet programs to youth battalions across Europe and Asia, the goal remains the same: to prepare the young for a world that demands more than ease. Military youth programs are not hidden behind fences. They're built in full view, open to parents, open to teachers, open to scrutiny, because they have nothing to hide. What they offer is simple: a chance to take children out of the chaos and into clarity, out of distraction and into discipline, out of expectation and into earned identity. In a world of noise, routines bring calm. At 5 a.m., they rise, not because they want to, but because they said they would. They make beds with perfect corners. They eat meals in silence. They speak when spoken to. Each moment measured, each second deliberate. Why so much discipline? Because control on the outside builds control on the inside. Because if a child can choose order over impulse, stillness over reaction, effort over comfort, they can do anything. These young cadets don't just march. They learn to move as one, to listen for the command, to speak with intention, to act as part of something larger than themselves. The uniform doesn't make them identical. It reminds them that no one is above the mission, that no one is more important than the team, and that everyone has a role to play. Why do we put children through this? Why the yelling? Why the mud? Why the stress? Because the world is louder. Because one day, pressure will come knocking, and we want them to have already answered. Military training is not about conditioning for violence. It's about preparing for life. Because life is hard, and it doesn't always come with warning shots. These programs teach kids how to stand straight when everything else is shaking, to keep going when others give up. They learn how to fall and how to get up without waiting to be rescued. They discover that being tired isn't an excuse, that pain isn't permanent, that weakness is temporary, and that behind every "I can't" is an "I just did." There's a moment in every course where the cheering stops, where the cameras are off, where the only voice left is inside. A crawl through gravel, a wall too high, a teammate who collapses, tears come, doubt creeps in, muscles shake. Some give up, but many find something else. They find breath in their chests they didn't know was there. They find fight in their legs when their arms fail. And more than anything, they find the strength not to win, but to finish. There's no trophy at the end of this. No medals for surviving the mud. The reward is the mirror. Seeing yourself differently. Not as someone who tried, but someone who completed. Not as someone who followed, but someone who led. Not as someone who feared, but someone who finished. These programs are not just about the individual. They're about the team. Every child starts alone, But they don't stay that way. Some can't carry their pack. Others run out of breath halfway through. And just when they feel like no one sees them, a hand reaches back, a shoulder leans in, a voice says, "We finished together." These are not ordinary friendships. They are forged in pain, sealed in sweat, strengthened in silence. No one here gets left behind. Not the fastest, not the slowest, not the one who cried, not the one who almost quit. Because here, you don't just find yourself, you find your tribe. When the final morning comes, it feels like any other, but it isn't. The uniform is cleaner, the salute sharper, the heart heavier, but stronger. Parents watch as their child stands taller. Instructors see the faces they once shouted at, now smiling with quiet pride. A certificate is handed out, but it's not paper they carry home. It's everything they've become. They don't need applause. They don't seek praise. They've already earned something greater, belief in who they are. This was never about turning children into soldiers. It was about helping them become stronger humans. Humans who can show up on time, follow through, support others, and keep going, even when it hurts. In a world that's fast, loud, and selfish, they learn to be still, disciplined, and selfless. They return home not louder, but more grounded, not tougher, but wiser. Because this was not punishment. This was purpose. This was not control. This was courage. And this was never about breaking them down. It was about building them up. This is where leaders begin. This is where courage begins.